Hello, how's everybody doing? It's Colleen with Couture. Hope you're having a fantastic, what is today? Tuesday? Coming in with a Couture project that is our Give Thanks transfer, which is super adorable. And we're kind of continuing with the pumpkin theme since we did pumpkins the other night. What was that, last night? And so I thought I would come in and we'll continue that pumpkin theme with our Give Thanks. So let's go ahead and get it shared. Okay. Alrighty. We are good. So hello and welcome. And as I mentioned, we're doing our Give Thanks, and this is our pallet board. Now, last year I actually did the other side of this with Peace, Joy, and Believe, and I had a cute little string on it. And I thought, you know how I am. I always like to make everything two-sided, have two functions. Whether it be an everyday sentiment on one side and then a holiday on the other, so all you have to do is flip it. So I figured let's continue with that theme and let's do Give Thanks on the other side of this, and we can jazz it up with some pretty ribbon across the top as well. So I thought that would be fun. So the colors that we're using tonight are Fig, we're going to use Parakeet, and we are also going to use Orange Peel. So let's go ahead and get those open. We may have to get them stirred and get them to that nice yogurt-like consistency that we need in order to pass the chalk through our silkscreen. Because as you know, these are reusable silkscreen transfers. And what that means is that you can use our transfers between 8 and 12 times. And as I always say, if you're really good with cleaning them and taking care of them, you can definitely get more uses out of them than that. Our transfers can be used on just about any surface that you can think of. So it could be mirrors, glass, burlap, canvas, paper, wood, chalkboards, obviously. You can then, and I would use our paste with just about all of those surfaces. If you were wanting to make something more permanent, like on a mug or a t-shirt or things like that, you would use our couture ink instead, but you can interchange using the transfer with either the paste or the ink and flip-flop back and forth. So that's really nice that you could create a t-shirt with the ink, and then with our chalk paste you can create something on wood. Now, having said that, our chalk paste is not permanent. It does wash off of most surfaces. Obviously, if you're using the transfer on untreated wood, for example, it might be a little harder to remove it. But we tested it last night on paint. I had like a galvanized little bucket that I painted white. I waxed it first, and we tested it last night, and I was actually able to get it back off, so I was pretty happy about that. So if we were to wax our wood, I'm assuming the same thing holds true. But I'm not waxing this wood because I want to make this stay on here. Now, if I wanted to make it permanent, all that I would need to do is once I put my design on here, just simply spray it with a spray sealer, and that will make it permanent. So let's go ahead and dive in. We've got our chalk paste just about ready. Our orange peel looks amazing. That is perfect. Our parakeet, I think, feels pretty amazing too. That is perfect. You see how it's dripping right off of the stirry stick. Now, our fig is a little thicker, but once we start going in here and we give it a really good vigorous stir, just getting all around, you can hear it making that snap crackle sound like Rice Krispies almost. You get in here and stir that around really good until you stop hearing that snapping sound. And once you stir, you'll see that you're starting to get it to that drippy, like yogurt-like consistency, which is perfect. Now, I can go ahead and spritz just a little bit of water into here, which I'm going to do just to make it just a little smoother, okay? If you're finding that your chalk paste is starting to get a little stiff, just go ahead and add a little bit of water at a time, because if it's too chunky, it's not going to pass through the silk screen. So you'll see when I remove the transfer from its carrier sheet that these are the silkscreen areas on here. So it's very tiny silkscreen that your chalk paste is going to pass through. Now, we're using this on wood. This has been used before, so we labeled the back of it so we know return it to the paper side. because this is the sticky side of the carrier sheet, we want to make sure that we're returning it to the correct side. So we always label the back of our carrier sheet. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get our fuzzing cloth. If you don't have one, it's a-okay. You just use your shirt or use a kitchen towel. I just have my fuzzing cloth folded up. And what I like to do is get a little bit of lint on the back of the transfer, just so that it's a little less sticky on our surface. When we are using our ink and making a t-shirt, I do not fuzz the transfer. I want a nice tight seal on my fabric. So I think I'm going to maybe put it a little bit more down towards the bottom and maybe put some pretty ribbon on here. So let's move it a little further down like that, and it fits perfectly on this palette board. I love it. Oops, I'm a little crooked. Let's fix that. I think I went a little off. There we go. Now we're perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub my hands all over this to make sure I'm not feeling any bubbles in the silkscreen area. Now, you know, this is palette wood, so it does have this little space in here. So sometimes the chalk will go through that, and it's okay. Not going to worry about that. So let's just make sure it's on here real good. If you'd like, you can use your squeegee to also help get any bubbles out of there. If you have bubbles in your silk screen, you're going to see that when you remove. So it's always good to just take an extra second. You can hold it kind of diagonally so you can see if there's any air bubbles in the silk screen. And if you see that, then just simply use your hands or use your squeegee to get them out, okay? That little bit of prep work. Hello, Luann, how are you? Can you say where you got the palette? I am trying to remember. I want to say, hang on one sec, I'm going to answer your question. I'm trying to remember if this is one of ours. I'm honestly blanking. This may have been the one that I got when we did Couture Tour, and they gave us a free one. This is, I think this is the 5x7. It's in our catalog right here. 5x7. I don't know if that's this one. Yes, I want to say this is our 5x7 palette sign. That's $9.99. So I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. I don't think I got this from one of the big box stores. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, I think, with the working my way from top to bottom. Because this is chalk paste, it's going to dry. It's like liquid chalk. So it's going to dry quickly. So I'm just going to give that little caveat ahead of time that you do need to work sort of quickly. But I don't want that to pressure you or to make you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to mess up. Because there's some tricks to it. If you're finding that you need to work a little slower, there are tricks, and I'm going to show you one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, this is our multi-tool, and this is perfect for stirring your jars, and it's also perfect for this little squeegee here that's going to be perfect to get our green for the tip of the pumpkin right there. It's also going to be great for the swirl detail and our leaves, and then down here for our swirl. I'm going to use that tool for that. However, we used to have older squeegees. These are our new small squeegees, but our older ones were this direction, and we cut them, and so that's what this is. This is a cut squeegee from before. So I like to have these handy too, because they're perfect for little details as well. But the multi-tool is perfect for this. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to do up here and the tip of our pumpkin, and I'm going to try to do the orange real quick, and then I'm going to peel back the transfer. I'm going to dry it real quick and then lay it back down. So I'm just kind of explaining the process real quick, and we'll dive in and we'll go ahead and get started. Now, you don't need a lot of chalk paste. You see there's just a little bit on there, and that's going to go ahead and do our detail right here. So it's almost like coloring in a way. But I'm just pushing that chalk paste right through the silk screen. I'm just trying to be sure, because working on wood is a little less forgiving than working on a chalkboard, because when you're doing a chalkboard, you can erase it with water if you mess up. Wood, not so forgiving. So we're just going to take our time, get that nice and covered, and then we're going to do the tip right here of our pumpkin. Just coloring in right in the silk screen area. Okay, now I can put this off to the side for a second because I want to do my pumpkin. So I'm going to grab this squeegee and come in here with our orange peel chalk paste and grab our pumpkin and cover him. And when you just pull down, when you're adding a little bit of pressure with the squeegee, it's going to slide that chalk paste right over your project, right over the transfer. Okay, don't worry about if you need more, go in and grab more, because if you have excess on your squeegee, you can always put it back into your jar. And remember, like I said, this is a pallet board, so there's probably going to be, when I pull this back, there's probably going to be some paste in that area where the holes are from the pallet sign, but that's okay. And I see that I missed the very, very tip of my pumpkin, so I just want to cover that. I missed that. Okay, now we're good. Now we're going to do the pull down, okay? And we're going to just dry this top part. Look how pretty it looks so far. I love it. Love it. Okay, so we're going to dry this real quick. Always remember when you're drying to keep your heat gun or your hair dryer, whichever you have handy, away from the transfer, because you don't want it to warp the transfer. Okay. That is already dry. I can rub my hands all over that. Okay. So now we're going to lay this back down. I just want to check for bubbles again. Oops, I got a little green. So I'm just going to make sure there's no bubbles and that my transfer is back down on the surface nice and tight. I feel pretty good. Now we're going to move right along to our plum color for Give Thanks. We're just going to cover the silk screen again. Don't worry about the teal section. You don't want to waste any of your chalk paste on that. And when you apply a little pressure, it's going to pull that chalk paste down. Okay. I don't really push too hard where the palette board has the split in it. I don't really press down too hard right there. I don't want any bleeding of any kind of the chalk paste, so it's okay if you leave a little bit of chalk still on there. Pretty easy, right guys? No tricks, nothing magical about it. It's literally just putting chalk paste right through a silk screen. Okay, got everything covered. Again, I'm not going to be too concerned about getting any excess off because, let's put this over here, because of the pallet sign, so it'll be okay just leaving it go. Love it. And see what I was saying, how it might because of the gap in there, but I'm okay with it. It looks good. I kind of thought for a hot second that it bled a little bit, but now looking at the transfer, there is a little loop there, and that's supposed to be there. So, shoo, I was like, okay, what did I do? But it's all good. It's supposed to be like that. All right, let's finish this off, the little leaf design down here, going back with our multi-tool. And again, just working in here. This is the easy peasy part because we're at the end here. So it'll be easy to just pull the chalk paste right on across. Just making sure you guys can see that I was still on camera. Okay. Getting up some of the excess as I go. There we have it. Just want to get the tip of that little loop. I'm getting any excess and goes right back into my jar. And now we can pull back and everything should be done. How adorable is that sign? And how easy, right? So I'm taking my transfer and I'm putting it into my bucket of water. And I'm actually going to do the same with all of the tools that I just used. I'm going to get all that chalk paste back into the jar. And throw that into the pan of water along with my squeegees and my multi-tool. They're all going into the pan of water so that I can clean them. I actually had a little bit of orange peel still left on here, so I'm going to put that back in my jar. And then I use my stirry stick to kind of scoop from around the sides here to get that back in. Okay, just like that. Push that back down. Perfect. I'm going to show you what the next step is as far as cleaning your tools and your transfers. It's very, very simple. But we'll get our covers back on here. You want to make sure that when you're using your chalk paste that you do get the covers back on pretty quickly, so it just helps to avoid drying out of your chalk paste. Now I know some designers that would go ahead right now and spritz a little water in here and close their jar just so that it's ready to go for the next time. I don't worry about doing that. I just do it before I start a project instead of at the end of it. So it's just your preference. So let's move these over. This should be dry by now, but let's just give it a quick dry. And like I said, now this is completely dry and I can rub my hands all over it, not going anywhere. So we'll just add some cute little decorative ribbon at the top, maybe even a little flower. Let's see if I have any flowers that kind of match this. So I have, no, that really doesn't match, that's too light. But I have cute little flowers that we could probably put on there like this. Here's one that's kind of cute. So something like that, you could just embellish it with a flower on the top, or some pretty Thanksgiving ribbon would really look cute. I like that. And then like I said, I always like having double-sided. So for Thanksgiving, here's my cute little pallet sign with my ribbon on it. Come Christmas, I take the Thanksgiving ribbon off and then add my Christmas ribbon, and I've got my two-sided home decor piece. Just flipping it out. Pretty awesome. Let's put this off to the side. Oh, and I always like to point out, all of the directions for taking care of your transfers are on the back of your packaging. So let's grab our bucket. As I mentioned, I was throwing everything into the bucket as we were working. If you get dizzy, close your eyes. I'm going to lift the camera up just a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. I just want to slide this over a little bit so I can show you how to properly clean your transfers. So I'm just grabbing a towel. We're just going to lay this down. Oh, my pumpkins fell over. Let's lay that down, bring our bucket in a little closer. And so what I have in here is called our board eraser. And this tool is great for cleaning everything. It helps to clean your tools and your transfers. However, I can use my fingers and do the exact same thing. But I just like the way that the board eraser cleans everything so nicely. So I just prefer to use that. So let's clean off all of our tools. Like so. Just make sure I got all the fig out of the side there. And then my squeegees are down here at the bottom. So let's get those cleaned. And then our final step will be getting our transfer out of here. You're very welcome, Luann. I'm sorry I didn't see that you commented. I just looked over. Sometimes I get so engrossed in what I'm doing, I forget to look for comments. So I'm just using the bottom of the pan and pushing down with my board eraser over the transfer, just being careful not to stretch the transfer as I'm cleaning it. So I'm just trying to get all of that chalk paste out of the silk screen area. It's a little hard to see because my water is changing color. Hello, Linda Davis Rose. And then I'm flipping it over and I'm cleaning the back side of the transfer as well. Shaking off all the excess water, and I'm going to put that transfer down sticky side up, which right now it's not sticky at all because it's wet. So once we clean it, it's going to bring that stickiness back, and you guys will see that we can then return it to its carrier sheet. So I'm just going to clean these guys off. Hello, Tammy. How are you? I hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. You're catching the end of tonight's live with cleaning our tools and our transfer, but I will bring the project back in so you guys can take a quick peek. And if you are not currently working with a designer and you're not a designer yourself, I would so appreciate if you hit that share button down in the bottom left hand of your mobile device. That means the world to me and helps to get the chalk couture love out, and I so appreciate that. So I'm just going to use this towel and get any excess water from the back of our transfer off. Now you may notice when I flip this over after I clean it that it's stained, and that's okay. Some of the darker pigmented chalk paste will stain. So my final step is to use a disinfectant wipe and we flip it back to the side that we chalked on, and you can see how it left the fig, left a little coloring behind, and the orange peel did. It's okay. All we're concerned about is cleaning the silk screen. So any staining on the transfer itself is perfectly fine. Flip it back to the sticky side. You can see it's starting to dry, so it's starting to get sticky again. We're just going to clean the back. That helps to get some of the fuzz that we put on there earlier off, and it also helps to get the chalk paste out of the silk screen area. Okay, and then we leave that to sit and dry for a second, and then we'll return it to its carrier sheet. So let's bring back in our project that we did tonight. It's on our pallet sign, and it says give thanks. Isn't that adorable? Now, and our carrier sheet that we had labeled earlier, the back of, so that we know. Now we're going to put the transfer. Whoops, I just got something on it. I'm going to get that off. We're just going to use the sticky side. I'm sorry, not sticky side. The sticky side of the transfer goes to the shiny side of the carrier sheet. So we're just going to match it back up like so. And then press down. And our carrier sheet is now returned. The transfer is now on the carrier sheet. Easy peasy, right? That's all there is to it. I mean, clean up with just water and your hands or a board eraser, and you are done. And like I said, we guarantee between 8 to 12 uses for each transfer. However, if you're really diligent with cleaning it and you're not using it on untreated surfaces and you're not stretching out your silk screen, you can probably get more uses out of it than that. So there is tonight's cute little project. Like I said, we've got Thanksgiving on one side and we've got Christmas on the other side. All I need to do for the holidays is switch out my ribbon for Thanksgiving or change out my ribbon for Christmas for the Peace, Joy, Believe. Pretty awesome. I love that about Chalk Couture. I love everything being double-sided. I just think it's, for me, that's a selling feature. Also, the fact that you can wash it off if you change your mind when you're using chalk paste, that also is pretty stinking awesome, I think. Let me see if I have any Thanksgiving ribbon of any kind, just so we could finish this off and make it look super adorable. I don't know if I do, but I'm going to take a quick peek at my little ribbon stash here. But if not, I think you guys kind of get the idea. It's just whatever you imagine, you know, you leave it up to your imagination. Add whatever embellishments you want. Don't think I have Thanksgiving ribbon. So I may decide to go with the Soho flowers. I mean the solo, what the heck are they called? The wood flowers. Nope, I don't have any Thanksgiving. But we'll come up with something. I will post a picture in the comments below so you guys can see what I came up with to finish this off. I'll find something, but you get the idea. All right, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you hanging in there with me tonight. That was a super fun and super quick project, I thought, and really adorable. Have a fantastic rest of your night, guys, and be safe out there, and I'll see you later. Bye.